Hi everyone. Reading, talking, singing, and telling stories are all really important things to do with your children. But today we're just going to talk about reading with your children. Reading is an important way to support your children's literacy development. It's also tons of fun. It's a great way to develop bonds with your children, to teach language, to teach about different things in the world, about animals and people and shapes and colors. It's just a wonderful tool to help your children. I'm going to share with you some of the ideas and tips that I have for reading. I have a young daughter, she's 18 months old, and we read every day. We have a special place that we read, and we also have special books that we read before bedtime. I always let Maria turn the pages. She loves to turn the pages. It's so exciting for her. And we never really read the book completely. We just talk about the book and point out the pictures, and I ask her questions, and she really loves that. Sometimes reading the words is too much for her. For Maria. Look at that. Richard Van Camp signed it for you. Isn't that nice? Turn the page. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. Dear one, cherished one, loved one, you have made the world beautiful again. Look at the baby. Look at baby. That's right. That's the sign for baby. Can you see where her eyes are? Yes. And where's your nose? There's your nose. That's right. And there's her nose. Where's Mommy's nose? Good girl. You can start reading with a newborn baby right from when they're born. It's a great way to help them learn language and a great way for you to relate to your baby and to get close to your baby. What's that? It's a little bunny, little bunny. It's a little bunny. Bunny's playing hide and seek. Mama counts and doesn't peek. Can you turn the page? Where little bunny hide? What's hiding place? Bunny inside. Bunny gets you. Bunny gets you. Maria and I have a really special bond because of reading. It's something that we share together, and it's something that we do every day. And it's a way that she'll snuggle up with me, and she knows that it's her special place with me every day.
Toddlers may not be able to sit still for an entire book, but they're still taking everything in, and they still enjoy reading. It's not necessary to read every word. It may be easier for you and for your child if you just go through and look at the pictures, let your child turn the pages, talk about what's going on. You don't have to read every sentence on every page. You can even skip pages.
Which book you kids want to read? Spider? Eric Carle, The Very Busy Spider. The Very Busy Spider. Early one morning, the wind blew a spider across the field. A thin, silky thread trailed from her body. The spider landed on a fence post near a farmyard. Began to spin a web with her silky thread.
Toddlers like carrying books around and turning pages by themselves. For this age, it's a good idea to have sturdy board books that they can carry around with them, that they can handle a lot, that they can even chew on, and that can be wiped off later.
Now everybody goes below. Take a bath in one big tub. First the tub, Peter. First the bathtub. Huh? First the bathtub. Yeah. With soap all over. Scrub, scrub, scrub. Yeah. They hang their towels on the wall. Where's their towel? They're hanging on the wall.
Preschool kids love to be read to. They can become very involved in stories. At this age, they especially like silly stories that have a lot of nonsense words, or books about pretending, books about crazy situations. And they can also sit still for longer and pay attention to more complicated stories than they could when they were younger.
What's this guy?
This is a big giraffe.
Right. And what do we know about giraffes?
It's big like this.
Yeah, it's really tall. The tallest animal is the giraffe. Male giraffes grow as tall as 19 feet. Wow, that's almost 2 houses.
And he's big.
That's right. Okay. What's that?
He's a big whale.
Big
He
whale.
can eat fish.
That's right. Yeah, whales like fish. The blue whale is the biggest animal. That's right. Huge.
Look at his big eyes.
Mm-hmm.
He has big eyes.
What else do you know about whales?
He has big, strong fins,
Mm-hmm.
and big stripes.
Big stripes, yeah. There's his tail. He's so big he couldn't fit on one page. Look at, that's how big the whale is, and that's how big the man is. Pretty crazy, eh?
I'm
You're bigger than the whale?
no bigger than the whale. He's big and I'm small.
That's right.
Now is a good time to start reading books about things like numbers, counting, colors, shapes, and comparisons. Older preschoolers may even be able to start sounding out words.
You want to open it? You start.
What is this character?
Biggest?
Biggest, whale,
Yep. Strongest?
strongest,
Fastest.
fastest.
Which is the fastest? Do you remember what animal that is? No? Okay.
This one.
What's the strongest animal? It's actually a bug. Do you remember?
This whale.
That's a whale.
At this age, kids may also pretend to read by looking at the pictures or just by memorizing the text and repeating it back. Especially books that are favorites, that are very familiar to them. They often pretend to read, and they can tell you the whole story. And this is an important sign of emergent literacy.
Even when your children are old enough to read by themselves, they still enjoy it when you take the time to sit down and read books with them. It can be a really great family activity to read together and to just kind of talk about your day. I find it really useful to let the children pick the book because that lets them explore different interests, and if they're interested in something, then they're probably going to be more apt to try out the words and the sounds that are in the book.
Okay, are we going to choose a book that you guys want to read?
Okay.
Okay, we have these ones. And we have this one.
Not this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Looks like a good one. The Littlest Sled Dog.
It's always important when you're reading that you inject some expression and possibly even assume some different voices for the characters. If you're reading about an old man and a little girl, then you could deepen your voice for the old man and use a squeaky voice for the little girl. My son always loves it when we read Scooby-Doo books and I assume the roles of Scooby and Shaggy in my Scooby-Doo voice, which I might not do in public, but at home he thinks is pretty great.
In the community of Rankin Inlet, she had to walk on a leash. She pulled and pulled. I am practicing, she said to herself. I am going to become the mightiest sled dog in the world. I will pull big sleds over deep snow all day long.
Even though my daughter has graduated on to reading mostly chapter books, she still enjoys reading books that have beautifully illustrated pictures, and she enjoys being read to as well.
Igloo followed them in her little booties, pulling her master behind her, running as fast as she could.
Pictures like the snow and then the dogs. And that looks like a cliff.
It sort of does.
And the dog, because like the way she's got it painted, it looks like it's pointing downward.
That's right.
Oh, the dogs, they actually look like they're playing with cliff.
That's true.
With my son, who's still learning to read, I find it helpful to let him sound out the words himself and to not just jump right in there and correct him. It gives him a great sense of achievement if he can work through the word himself. At the same time, you don't want to choose a book that has too many difficult words because that can frustrate your child. So you want to make sure that there's a book that has some challenges in it, but not too many.
Would you like to read, Robbie?
She dreamed of running so fast, chasing wolves with sleek Irish wolfhounds. She dreamed of running with dingoes in Australia. She dreamed of splashing in clear water, fetching ducks with golden retrievers.
Oh, that was very good reading.
We hope you've enjoyed these tips for reading with your children and that you're inspired to read with them tonight.